What's up, all you comic book fans out there that love fucking prestige television? Because we are about to talk about a quality episode of a show that's streaming on HBO of all places. Not streaming. HBO is a fucking regular actual network, but it is streaming on Max. I'm going to shut up and do the intro. Here we go. We are Comic Books Transformed. Me and my good friend Brian over there. He's not on the couch behind me. He's over there. We talk about comic books that have been adapted into streaming shows and movies. So, Brian, this episode of The Penguin, episode 4, is really fucking good.
Yeah, it's. I definitely say it's the best episode of the show yet. Hard to watch at some moments, but fucking excellent all around.
Yes. What I love about this episode is that I almost wanted to show it to my wife, who could really not be bothered by comic book adaptations at all. She did like the Batman with Robert Pattinson, but I think she felt it was too long too.
I think everybody did.
yeah, exactly. But I feel like you could watch this one episode and not see anything else, including the first 3 episodes of the show, and still appreciate this episode.
Yes, I the second you said that, I was immediately brought back to the episode of The Sandman with Death. How it was just a great episode. You could totally watch it without knowing anything, and it's just a great episode. I totally agree here.
Yeah. It's just this great standalone episode. It could almost be like a movie, but the fact that it's like short, you don't really want to add anything to it. It does everything it needs to do, and it's really great. And I saw a review of it. I read a review of it on IGN when I was doing my research, and the guy was saying how the show has tried to be this grounded kind of mafia type show, and this episode, it was like a little too much. He went a little too far, and he was saying that's okay because the Batman itself is supposed to be grounded, but it still is like over the top and ridiculous too. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I definitely feel it felt more like a comic book than before. Like we made the comparisons to The Sopranos. Like, I feel like you wouldn't have got this in The Sopranos. Not that I've watched it, but
No, I completely agree. There's one part in this episode where I'm like, holy shit, this is her supervillain origin story. And, I could totally see this as a standalone issue of a comic, too.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been such a great issue if it was. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
This character wasn't in all that many comics. It's really just Long Halloween and Dark Victory, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see. Like, I remember I recently read an interview with Kristen Milioti, and she said how she was like really excited to play this character. I'm like, really? But I guess because she read the script and we saw what was going to happen, like things like this, and I could see how an actor would be excited to play something like this.
Yes.
Rather than playing sort of like a minor villain in Batman, she gets to play this really excellent part and test out her acting chops.
Exactly. Now, I think that she was on that show How I Met Your Mother, right? I think we might have even mentioned that last time.
Yes, she was.
And then she was in some other like small budget movies, I think, too. But this episode is such a testament to her quality as an actress, because she's essentially playing one character in the beginning of the episode, and then she's a totally different character in the end of the episode. And so much of it, I say this a lot when we do our shows, so much of it is in her like face when she's acting. Like the way her face looks before all this shit happens, and her demeanor, her tone, and then by the end of the episode, it's like a person that has been through everything, through hell.
Yeah, the way she looked in the beginning of the flashback, you would have thought like, oh, maybe this is the mother from How I Met Your Mother. Like, this could have been a scene from that. Like, yes. That's like, her demeanor, her facial expressions, everything was so harshly different, starkly different, that it was incredible.
Wait, so she's the fucking mom in How I Met Your Mother?
She's the mom.
Oh, okay. I didn't know she was that big.
She was also in that like Star Trek-esque episode of Black Mirror.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a really good fucking episode. Okay. So what about Colby Smulders? Isn't she like in that show too?
Yeah, Murray Hill. Yeah,
But like, it's some kind of weird thing, right? Where they like he gets with the mom, but then it's like implied that he's going to get with Kobe Smulders later. Is that how?
Yeah, the whole premise of that show is that the mother dies, and the dad is telling the kids about how they met, and I think what pissed everybody off at the end is that after he tells the story, he realized he's going to go ask Robin, Colby Smulders out again.
Oh, okay.
People didn't like that. I think I don't know. I didn't fully watch that show. I watched a couple episodes here and there.
Yeah. Well, she's fucking fantastic, and we do get two moments in the present that kind of bookend this story. That essentially her origin story. But in the very beginning, they did. There's a very juicy little nugget where it's revealed to her that Oz killed her brother.
Yes, I was not expecting that to have happened right there. I mean, it makes sense logically that she would reveal that there.
Yeah.
But I mentioned that show Dead to Me, where I felt like there was this like crazy tension where this person who knows they did something wrong is trying to help and be involved all this whole time, and how it's I hoped it wasn't going to go down that route completely, but they didn't. They just flat out ruined this budding relationship that we thought was going to be the basis of the season,
right?
And threw it right out the window. And I thought that was a fantastic turn there.
Yes, yeah, and when you see the way she is with Alberto when she's younger, 10 years younger, it makes it like so much more powerful, like her anger towards like whoever might have been connected to his murder,
Yes.
So, I mean, so we talk about Sophia, we talk about how much Arkham changed her. In the beginning of the episode, she is this like young girl. She's probably like in her late 20s. She smiles a lot. She, is kind of like living like a princess sort of in the Falcone family. Oz is her driver, and she's loyal to her family. And her father is even saying to her that they might break with tradition and let her run the family.
Yes. But she makes the mistake of questioning her father.
Yes. She makes the mistake of questioning her father. The thing is, a reporter comes up to her and basically reveals this evidence that's going to show that maybe her father has murdered these women. That it seems like these women died by killing themselves, including her mother. But then, the father might be behind it. Yeah. And she doesn't like go to work with the woman or anything like that. She basically blows the woman off.
Yeah, she initially blows her off. I also like to point out that it was Summer Gleason, which was a nice little throwback. She first throws off to I don't talk to media. And then she kind of starts seeing little details and thinking about it, and then she contacts her anyway. And Oz is obviously there, and he rats her out. And at that point, it's like all the events that just cascade out of that point. I'm curious as to what level everyone was involved in. I do wonder if Oz knew anything further than what was going to happen further than just saying he met with the reporter, or if he knew anything of the other crazy things were going to happen. I also don't think the brother's all that innocent. I think he's rather complacent here. I don't know how that's going to come out at this point with him being dead, but I think that's interesting.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then just to talk about Carmine too. Obviously, it's not John Turturro. It is it's Mark Strong here, who I think is better. He did a better job.
Agreed. Yeah. So let me ask you this: she confronts Carmine. He, is listening to her. He's standing up. He walks towards her. Did you think that he was going to start strangling her?
I think it was a very real possibility, depending on how she answered. It might have played out that way, but maybe it seemed to be a better reason to use her as a scapegoat to get the press. And I mean, I guess the cop. I mean, he sort of owns the cops, I guess, or some of them. So I don't know. Yeah, but it was an easy way to sweep that thing under the rug by pinning it on somebody else as much as he probably didn't want it to be his daughter.
Right. It's extremely cold.
Yeah.
Like it's like brutal what he does to his own daughter. Essentially frames her for the murders of multiple women. Then they make it to where she has to go into Arkham State Hospital like immediately. And then it's like, okay, well, you'll have a trial in 6 months. Then they push the trial to where it's not going to happen. It doesn't happen for 10 years.
Yeah. Don't forget all the firsthand accounts that are complete fabrications by her fucking family. Like,
yeah, just fucking horrible. And I think that, like, I like this. It is ridiculous because I don't think in the real world something like that could happen to where someone could just get arrested immediately. There's no trial. It's like I don't think it could be as extreme as that.
Well, yes, in the real world probably not, but I mean in this crime-filled, mafia-centric world, I think that is very possible that to get something done that swiftly with enough money.
Agreed. See, that's what I like about this show and the Batman and then the Christopher Nolan, at least the first 2 movies, because they really make it like the criminals own this fucking city. I know they always say that in the other movies and adaptations and stuff and the comics, but in this, it's really like they own the fucking city and they will like put their daughter through hell and there's no one that's going to stop them at all. So it actually makes Batman even seem more of a miracle that Batman exists.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
sort of rewatching the Batman, by the way.
I do not fucking blame you. As I was saying that sentence, I'm like, I want to watch this movie again.
Yeah, I only got about 20 minutes in, but I'm going to continue it as soon as I can.
I found a YouTube video where it's the director. He's just doing the commentary for it. It's just a black screen, but you can just like listen to him talking about the movie. And I'm fucking eating that shit up too. Matt Reeves,
yeah, he's good.
Yeah. So you did not think though that the inmate that was in the cell connected to her, you didn't think that was Harley for a second, did you?
For a second, I did. Totally did. Just the way she spoke and everything like that. But I'm glad it wasn't. I'm not super familiar with Magpie. I definitely knew the name. I couldn't name one issue or storyline she was a part of, though.
Right. I mean, there's tons of Batman comics where like people break into Arkham or they break out or like there's something going on at Arkham, and I'm sure that she's in one of those fucking books where she's just like in Arkham as a bad guy or something. But yeah, I was like, okay, it sounds like Harley. And then there's like a little hole that Sophia's looking through, and I'm like, oh, she kind of even looks like Harley. Her skin's pale. She's got blondish hair. Yeah. But I was like, they can't have Harley on this show. It wouldn't work. So she's Magpie. Did you think that Magpie was working with the Doctor?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think Sophia's hypothesis is pretty sound. You know, she was getting that drug that we know that they're able to, because they're selling it outside there. They know what the drug does. It just kind of gives them this euphoric kind of sense. You don't see anybody else getting that drug handed to them, although there are a whole bunch of cups there. So it's not like everybody's getting them. So I think she was getting some kind of special treatment to kind of spy on her.
Yeah, you're right. Because one of the things they make a point to show in Arkham is that there's just like screaming constantly. It's just this fucking miserable place. And you'd think that if they were all getting that drug, it'd be a lot quieter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have a ticker for this, but I do think that we should sort of go over the sequence. There's like kind of like 2 sequences, right? There's the sequence where she talks to Alberto and the lawyer's basically like, you have 2 minutes and then you're going to Arkham. And then they like cut to the cops just like putting her up against the wall, taking off her clothes, spraying her with water.
That was so hard to watch.
Yeah. I'm messaging you and you're like, oh, this is really good. And I was like, oh, and it's really fucking brutal. And then like that scene happened like right when I was messaging you too.
Yeah.
And it's great because it's not gratuitous. She's naked. They don't show like her butt or anything like that, but you can tell she's naked. And they whip out these fucking clamps, and obviously they're not going to show any of that, but they show her face, and you're just like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it was a brutal sequence to watch. It was very hard to look at. The clamps, especially, just the whole full cavity search idea. That sounds horrible.
Yeah. And so we have like these sequences, because there's another one just like it, but in between, everyone's fucking chained. Like they're in like a fucking chain gang. They're just chained like in their cell, they're chained in the cafeteria, and there's this one inmate woman who is not chained and she just beats the shit out of Sophia. Then we have another scene where the doctor is there, all the staff are like fucking there, and they give Sophia a fork to essentially
like fucking Fight Club.
yeah. I mean, I don't think that she was a comic book character, but still.
No, although I gotta say, when I first saw her, you saw her in the background in one of the cells when they first put Sophia in the cell. I'm like, is that supposed to be like Joker or some shit?
Right.
I didn't realize it was a woman at first.
Right. They did show men, I think, when she first came in, but then it was like, this is the women's wing, And
No. You see that woman standing in one of the cells as they're bringing her to the cell for the first time, and that made the connection between Joker and Harley even stronger to me.
Oh yeah.
Magpie, but clearly it's not. I do wonder if that was supposed to be somebody in particular or not, but I don't think so.
Yeah, because part of her illness was that she would like repeat things, and I was like, that could be like a Batman villain where it's like their name is Echo or something.
Yeah,
but I think it was just to make it stressful. I mean, the stress and the idea of being in Arkham, they really did a fantastic job of showing that. And
and the general whirlwind of how quickly everything changed for her.
Right. So like after like the woman kills herself. She takes the fork and she kills herself because Sophia is at least keen to like, if I hurt her, I'm gonna get in trouble or whatever. And they still just they're like, fuck it, you killed her, right? And then they give her electroshock therapy, which like in this modern day, I don't think you're even allowed to do that. But it's like a montage where they just show her in her cell. Was she like ripping wallpaper off in her cell?
I think that was in her head, really. So I think that's the wallpaper that was in the room where she found her mom's body. So I think it was just kind of breaking her mind down and making her think that she's trapped in the same room, sort of thing. So I don't think she was actually tearing that down.
Jesus.
Yeah, it ridiculous. And your ticker here says about Dr. Rush. God damn it. Yes, this is absolutely proof that the world is broken. That her one light in this whole situation basically is this doctor who's potentially sexually assaulting her. We don't know if that actually happened, but he clearly has a thing for her,
right?
And wants to use that against her. So yes, that the bleakness of that story, that plot point is horrible.
Right. And see, I love that quote that she says because, regardless if he ever did anything with her, I mean, he's like definitely trying to like groom her, like to get something out of her, right?
Yeah.
And he does have that one moment where he talks to the other doctor and he says, what if she's telling the truth? And the doctor says something like, it doesn't matter. So he says something like that. And then she gives this speech when we cut back to the present day, and she's talking to Dr. Rush, who has left Arkham. And she basically says, like, I'm not broken. She says someone else is not broken. She might say he's not broken or something like that. And then she says the world is broken. And I think for someone to live in this particular Batman universe, but for someone to live in Gotham, I think that that's such a perfect thing for a fucking character to say.
Yeah.
Because like Gotham is like the ultimate broken city, and Batman is like the solution to it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot, but this guy fucking loved this so much.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah, so I'm giving my little speeches here. What'd you think of Sophia's speech at the dinner?
Yeah, Sophia's speech was great. I love how she walked in and the tension in the air with all that. I like that she was, allowed little girl to go away. I thought she was going to pull something there. I didn't expect what actually happened, but I assume she put some kind of poison, or is this some carbon monoxide exhaust or something, and basically kills everyone in the mansion with the lone exception of Johnny Vitti.
Right.
And I guess that's his granddaughter.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know his relation. I know that like she essentially killed her uncle, right? Because her uncle was the one that was running the family at this point.
Uncle Luca, yeah. But
yeah.
So I think that girl was the daughter of Carla Vitti. And that was the friend that she kind of awkwardly meets up with at the funeral.
Yeah.
So, and that makes that's his daughter, because it's not. I guess it could have been his wife.
Well, he's also doing this thing where he's banging the brother,
Luca's wife. Yeah. So right. I don't know if Carla Vitti was his wife or his daughter.
Okay.
So, but either way, those seem to be the only people that have survived that. I guess she couldn't get away with killing everybody because she needs someone around to help run the operation.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that sequence where she takes the girl out to the greenhouse and she's kind of talking to her. It really reminded me of a Mike Flanagan kind of story. Did you end up watching Midnight Mass?
Not yet.
But you saw Hill House, right?
Saw Hill House, yes.
Yeah, I was getting kind of Hill House vibes where it was like she takes the daughter out and she's very sweet and motherly to her. Then the next scene is she's just walking through this house with all these dead bodies and she's got the gas mask on and she's kind of dancing around a little bit. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I thought like just that Vitti would have been dead too. That like because the music that was playing in the background kind of reached this crescendo once she got to his bedroom. And I thought it was just going to be like he was going to be dead, but it was going to be like dramatic the way he was dead. But then it's like, no, he's still alive.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to why. I mean, I knew somebody had to be alive because she picked up the gun at some point.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I guess I still don't understand why he's still alive. Out of anybody else there.
Well, I think wasn't it like promised to the triads that like he was going to meet with one of them?
He was going to meet with one of them?
They used his name when they were meeting with the triads.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I think that's probably why. At one point, she's in the bathroom and she takes off the mask and she has the gun. And the gun goes by her head at one point. And I was like, wait, she's not going to fucking shoot herself in the head. Right?
I briefly thought that for a second, but I'm like, no, she wouldn't have saved the little girl if she was going to do that. And then where would the show go without her?
Exactly. Oh. Yeah. So, holy shit. Just what an episode. I almost kind of don't even want to watch any more of the show because I don't think it's going to get better than what we just saw. But and I also am worried that, like, Oz is going to kill her. And, I just don't want to see that either.
Yeah, it's really going to be dependent on what they want the future of this to be. I obviously think that Oz has to live through it. The show's about him. I think it would be valuable to have him appear in a sequel to the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But Sophia, with her, it's really dependent on if they want to make a second season or not, or if this is a standalone tale.
Right.
She's kind of up for grabs here in a sense.
Right. So I'll ask my last question unless you have anything else. Do you have anything else you want to add to this?
I don't think so. I just really that the three leads here, Penguin and Sophia and Vic are all just fantastic.
Totally agree. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Especially her. But I was going to say, I'm probably going to ask this every time we record this, but do you think that we're going to get any kind of reference to Batman or see Batman by the end of this show?
No. Maybe a mention. We're not going to see Batman at all.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe like the best case scenario is, or I don't know if it's best case scenario. The most I would expect, maybe you see like the Bat Signal or something stupid like that. Just like, hey, yeah, this is a Batman show.
Yeah,
I forgot. Lots of stuff.
Right. I'll throw my 2 cents. Like, maybe I like your bat signal idea because that's the best way, because you don't have to show him. And like, it could be that Oz is like on top by the end of this season and he's running things and he's like on the top of his game. You have a little montage of him being successful, and then he looks up in the sky and sees the bat signal. He's like, oh, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Really great fucking show. We're at episode 4. There's what, 8, right, of this?
You can pay this as well, yes.
Okay. So that's hot. We're going to keep covering this. We're in a good phase right now for the stuff that we can cover. If you guys have not subscribed to our channel, please do. Let us know, because we just covered Agatha all along. Are you enjoying that more or the Penguin? I'm guessing the Penguin. But you know what, guys? We'll be back next week. Talk more about this.